Fall is definitely in the air. It is cold out today. Leaves are starting to litter the ground and the trees are popping with some color. I had to grab some gloves. Unfortunately, they're too big to fish with, but my hands are gonna be ice cold during this. Fall's a really beautiful time of year, but the cold snaps are a little tough to get used to. That's all part of it. Hopefully I can hook up to a big one. I'm gonna do something pretty interesting. It's definitely gonna be unique. Starting with a bead-headed bright bugger, orange and brown. All right, let's see what we get. Hopefully that water's not too loud. Oh, I missed him. Dang. It's a good sign. Well, I almost took one hell of a spill into that upper river, so I'm gonna go around instead of taking the short way. That wouldn't have been fun. It's like the ultimate slip and slide that I didn't want to take. All right, we're gonna switch it up. I think I'm going to go with this bugger. Black color again, but a little different. Maybe they'll be more interested in this. Still has some flash to it. Let's give this woolly bugger a try. He's not too bad. Sweet. Look at that. Really long, skinny though. I think I'm gonna let this one go. Let this guy back in the water in a nice calm spot. Give him a chance to recoup. Barges. There he goes. Oh! Oh yeah. That's a good one. Sweet, man. No way. I gotta land him too. It's pretty docile. That's a nice trout. Yeah. Check that out. That's a beauty. No doubt. Look at him. I'm pumped. He's gonna make a great meal. Nice and thick. I'll take them all day. So I'm gonna keep this guy so I have something to eat for sure. So I caught this guy on this little nymph here, a stonefly nymph, I believe, but it's just its larval state, dragging it slowly back to shore through the strong current. I was just about to pull it up and this guy came up and smacked it. I'm gonna go bring this guy back up to my pickup, clean him out and put him on ice, just because I got some good plans for this guy and I want him to stay fresh while I keep fishing. Hey, what you doing? Some fish? So I decided to come back out to the coast since it's right by my home to finish up this catch and cook. You know, I can't even remember the last time that I actually came out here to fish or just to sit and enjoy while it's still warm here in Maine. I say warm lightly, it's kind of cold today. Ceviche isn't typically prepared with softer fish like freshwater trout like I'm gonna do. So it's definitely gonna be a lot different. I'm gonna start off with preparing the marinade that I'm gonna be putting these fish in. So it's mainly just gonna be citrus. And then I'm gonna go around, carve out all the extra cartilage, trying to leave as much of the orange or the grapefruit intact as possible. There. And I'm gonna go in between where there's cartilage and the actual meat or flesh of the fruit, just to avoid any extra, and just cut in little kind of triangles and then put that right into my dish. Squeeze some of that juice in there. Yo, look at that. I actually brought a fork this time. So I'm just gonna kind of pulverize this as best I can with a fork. Seagulls are already checking me out. They haven't seen me in a while. They don't get much food from me either unless I steal it. Set that aside. Now I'll take some of my fresh phenyl tips here. There we go. I think that looks okay. And then chop that up and add it to our marinade. All right, one final thing to add to that. I brought, it's not sketchy at all, right? Brought along a little salt and pepper just to spice it up in the sketchiest way possible. So I don't want too much, but I'll just add a little salt, pepper to the mix, put it back in my pocket before anyone sees it. Now, what I'm gonna do is just come in and pull some fillets off this fish. And so I made sure to grab a very sharp knife so we can get as much meat as possible. There we go. So that's one fillet. Excellent. Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that meat. Just gonna carefully remove all of the ribs. I mean, really the trick to filleting is you just need a really sharp knife. That's what it comes down to. So the next thing that's really important for this is to come in, find where all those pin bones are. You can visually see them. This is kind of a time-consuming process, but once you finish, it's well worth it. So I just have a very fine pair of tweezers, and you go in, pull all these little spines out. The last thing we need to do is we will chop this into thin sections. To my plate, I'm gonna add the phenyl and the red grapefruit little marinade we made, just with a little salt. Put that right in the plate. Our trout pieces, and lay them right on the side, so that way some of the marinade soaks up, but it's not gonna deteriorate and make that meat too soft. I got that fish marinating, so all I have to do now is really just sit back and enjoy the scenery, and I think I found the right spot to do that. This has been curing for just about an hour, and you can see how the tops are still very pink, and then just underneath it's starting to look more like ceviche. It's a little whiter, the flesh is already starting to fall apart, and so that's why the skin was left on and it wasn't completely submerged. Just going to sprinkle the tops with a little phenyl. Oh, don't spill. All right, got my fish ceviche here, or I got my trout ceviche. Some seagulls fighting over a crab. I also brought along some thin toasted pieces of bread just to have some crunch with it. I'm gonna try the fish straight up, and then as well as, you know, on a crisp. Time for the moment of truth and see how good this turned out, or bad. You know, could be both. The flavor's really good, but you know, that's actually pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of the skin, that's for sure. The skin on it is it's a little chewy, so it takes away from that soft texture of the trout itself, which is excellent. But if I put it on a cracker, I think that's gonna take away, soak that a little bit, I think that's gonna take away some of the chewiness. Yeah. I like it way better with that cracker. You don't notice that skin as much, and that's really my only caveat with this. So if you're gonna do this yourself, I can't really recommend that you go out and eat raw fish. It's not really the safest thing you can do. But if some of you do end up trying to do this, make sure you do it right. You really wanna get that fish cleaned out, put on ice right away as soon as possible. And then after that, really you need to get it into a freezer. That's not gonna kill any of the bacteria. So if you didn't clean your fish out very well, or there were bacteria that are already harmful on it or inside the meat itself, then that's not gonna do you any good. The only thing that freezing it's doing is killing the eggs or any of the parasites that are actually in the fish's meat itself. So just keep that in mind. And it might not kill them completely, but what it's gonna do is severely compromise them so that when you're digesting them, chances are it's going to break down those bacteria, or break down those parasites, so they can't colonize within you. So that's the idea behind that. I don't want to recommend you guys go try that because maybe you'll get sick. So don't go do this yourself. But if you do, make sure you do your research and do it properly. Sun's just starting to get below the trees, getting a little chilly here. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my meal, pack up, head out. I'm actually catching a flight tomorrow, so I really need to get going. I have not done all the things I need to do, but just kind of how that goes. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. And if you want to follow along, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.